Unveiling the stories that need to be told. Join Omobola Sandra and Sage Babalola on the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. as we invoke the thought-provoking discussion, tackle the tough questions, challenge assumption, and give a voice to the unheard. This is the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Welcome on board the Morning Express.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Welcome to the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Good morning and welcome to Trends in the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Time check right now is 7:42 a.m. It's time for us to look through the major stories trending on the front pages of our papers. Then we have our papers here, The Punch, The Guardian and Vanguard newspaper. We'll be reviewing the major stories of the front pages of these papers. My name is Omobola Sandra. Fuad Sahid will join via the phone line to give analysis to the stories that we're going to be looking through this morning. And we'll do this up until about 8:30. We'll take a commercial break, and by 8:40 we are back for Mainland Focus, and that's the part where you get to be a part of the conversation. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, so you can join the program on those platforms, and you can as well drop your comments or your own analysis in the live chat section, even as the show progresses. I will take them when we move on to Mainland Focus. So we have our papers here, quite interesting stories to discuss this morning, at least finally something, a little bit of something away from the River State conversation. But of course, the River conversation still continues. I mean, it's the major headline on the front page of Vanguard. But let's see what we have in other sectors of or in other areas in the country. All right, and as we try to bring forward on board, the major headline on the front page of the Punch reads, "Marketers to begin direct Dangote petrol purchase." And the writer here says, new pump price looms as national oil firms move to dump 99 billion naira monthly subsidy. Good morning, Fuad. How are you doing?
Good morning, Sandra. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you very much. So we're back to the Dangote conversation, or NNPC Dangote oil conversation, basically. And the major headline here on the front page of the Punch is giving us reports that marketers are to begin direct purchase from Dangote petrol, Dangote refinery rather, as against what we had, some weeks ago, that NNPCL would be the sole off-taker of the product. But what we have now is that major oil marketers are now to begin direct purchase from Dangote refinery, as NNPCL has pulled out as the sole off-taker. And multiple sources from NNPC and even Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria confirmed that NNPCL was no longer the sole off-taker of Dangote petrol, and this is, hopefully will give room for other players in the downstream sector to buy products directly from the Dangote refinery. Fuad, is this something that we should celebrate? Should we be happy about this? I remember when the conversation came up on board as regards NNPCL being the sole off-taker, there was, some concern on that.
Well, you know what, Sandra, with the Nigerian oil sector, like you said the last time, there's a way it just feeds all your intellect. There's a way it gets you confused about what should be something very, very simple process, simple procedure. Becomes too complex, and sometimes you try to dig into it, and the more you try to do that, the more confused you get about these simple things as to exploration of crude oil, making it available in a refinery, refining it to bring out different petroleum products, getting it into market, for people to buy. You've seen all of that value chain in Nigeria. Vested interest, corruption, lack of transparency has now made it extremely difficult for anybody to make a meaning from what has become very beneficial to other nations like Nigeria who are all producing. So, as it is, the inconsistencies continue. You said, is this something we should celebrate? I don't know, really. Because again, Sandra, the news is filtering in that the pump price of petroleum products is also going to go up anytime soon. In fact, we're already getting ideas of figures of pricing that it might hit well above 1,000 naira even in Lagos here. If you understand what I'm saying. And this sudden change in decision of the NNPCL to be the off-taker is actually taking so that it can become the reason for justifying the new prices we're going to see. Like I said, it's still, you understand what I'm saying? There's already the talk of a new petrol pricing out there. It's still unconfirmed. It's not official yet. But industry players are saying that, look, this sudden decision for the NNPCL to now say, look, we're not going to be the sole off-takers again, is to justify whatever price that now comes on and say, okay, well, we have answered it. Because if you look at the report very well, Sandra, even with Dangote refinery, we are being told that about 3 billion or so was still being paid in subsidy for Dangote petroleum products. If you understand what I'm saying. So, again, the conversation would be that, the government now wants to fully deregulate. The government wants to fully answer that we can be buying at, what is supposed to be the proper rate so that subsidy can be gone. As it is now, there's the conversation of subsidy is gone, it's not gone, weighted average rate, cost recovery. Sandra, I wouldn't pretend to be an oil industry expert, but on the basis of common sense, this is the most opaque industry in Nigeria, or sector in Nigeria. This is the most corrupt sector in Nigeria. And this is a sector that has serious implications on the living standards of Nigerians. And that's why Nigerians are already saying that, look, is this another grand plan, apart from all the corruption that surrounds the oil sector? This idea of suddenly moving Nigerians from buying PMS at 195 naira per litre to over 1,000 naira per litre, is it another grand plan to further impoverish Nigerians, to further weaponize poverty in Nigeria, to the extent that they become subdued to be able to raise any dissenting voice against political shenanigans we are seeing in the country? Because at the end of the day, Sandra, we can speak all of the grammar on radio. The reality is that poverty is spreading like a wildfire in the country, Sandra. Poverty has become, it's untamed as it is. Because whether you like it or not, every other thing in terms of the living standards of other Nigerians revolves around the price of PMS. Once it goes up, it goes up. The other conversation that we are not even still talking about, we are not focusing on too much. Mr. Cardoso recently gave a manner of, he was speaking too much grammar, too much technicality. But the reality is this, Sandra. How did we also move from what we were complaining about, that's about 750 naira, to a dollar, to suddenly 1,007, 1,750. And whether you like it or not, that forex crisis is also the reason why we have so many other issues around poverty, pain in the country. What is the government policy about these two sectors? The foreign exchange market and the oil sector, which have, whether you like it, serious consequences on the living standards of Nigerians. But as it is, I don't think the government is paying attention to it. I don't think they even think there's a problem to start with. And if you don't think there's a problem, there's no way you're going to be looking for solutions to the problem. So, this is what it is. We have to wait to see what happens. So that we don't wake up one day and they will say, that was just a policy announcement that the NNPCL does not know about. We are still the off-takers. So if they say they are removing their hands as a middleman and they want the marketers to now relate directly with Dangote, I'm hoping that Dangote will now have the balls, to tell us how much you'll be selling to the market.
Okay, so I was going there because if we are having this increase now before the marketers have started taking off from Dangote, hopefully, since Dangote was not able to reveal, the price of what he was selling to NNPCL as sole off-taker. But then, don't you think that this pricing issue would now be based on the negotiation capacity of different oil marketers? Say, for example, Fouad Sahid is a major marketer. He goes there, he negotiates. Okay, this is how much I can buy. And then, you have another person goes there, 𝐴̀mí Akinode goes there and say, oh, well, this is how much me I can buy. Do you think we're going to have that disparity, as regards pricing?
Well, I think the disparity would be on the issue of logistics, basically. But taking it from the refinery, probably going to have a uniform price.
Okay.
But logistics will not be the factor. They are moving it to the southwestern states. And then if you are taking from Dangote refinery and taking it to the north, for example, you're taking it to what's it called? You're taking it to the south states or the eastern part of the country. The issue of logistics and what have you comes to that. And that's why you notice that even the building of refineries, the intelligent thing would have been for us to have refineries in different parts of the country, I think regional arrangement, so that this issue of movement, logistics can be reduced substantially. But in terms of pricing, I'm sure if you are able to take your truck, if truly NNPCL has moved out of this off-taker arrangement, so it means that as a marketer, so far you are able to take your truck down, you are able to do all the necessary in terms of supply and what have you. It's probably going to be a uniform price. But at the end of the day, Dangote will be selling based on several factors. Number one is access. How he's able to get crude, where he gets the crude from, and at what price. You understand what I'm saying? And I've seen people who have argued, crude oil is priced internationally, the global market, especially when you are in OPEC. But Sandra, I remembered when I was having a conversation with Adeola Yusuf, and what he told me was that, look, our founding fathers who built those 4 refineries had made it a policy, and it was always supposed to be one of the things in the PIA, that look, no matter the amount of crude we are able to produce in a day, that 445,000 barrels of crude oil should be reserved for local consumption on a daily basis. And that one we reserve for local consumption should now be priced locally to meet up our own local peculiarity. So we take it off the dollar conversation or the global oil pricing conversation because we are talking about our own needs. Sandra, as I speak to you today, we still have several oil producing nations in the world who do that to help their own people. Call it whatever name you want to call it, subsidy, arrangements, and what have you. It is our own crude oil, Sandra, and we should be able to get some benefit from being an oil producing nation. If you check out, go and look at the pricing model in other oil producing nations. In fact, the easiest example would be for us to look at Angola, a sub-Saharan African oil producing nation. As we speak today in Angola, the price of PMS per liter is still on the average at around 500 naira per liter. If you understand what I'm saying. So those are the things when you have, as an oil producing nation, so far you can have functional refineries and you are able to produce crude locally. Whatever you reserve for domestic use can now be priced in a way to help the poor people, the most vulnerable people and the ordinary people of your country. Okay. So what is then is the benefit of us being an oil producing nation? And then the next thing you are going to hear from them now is that, you can't continue to do that because some of the money also has to go to some other essentials. At the end of the day, the so-called money they are trying to save will end up in private pockets, the pockets of our politicians. And at the end of the day, despite the suffering, the hardship in the land, roads are still not being built. Schools are still in poor state. The health sector is still in comatose. Whereas Nigerians continue to suffer.
All right, let's finalize our conversation on this particular story for Fouad, because there's also a report here. You've already mentioned it, but let's just see what the report has for us as regards price hike imminent. So what we have is that the price of petrol is expected to increase based on a new petrol price template that was reportedly released by the NMDPRA, that's Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. So there's an online medium that stated that based on that template, NNPC was paying an average estimated differential of 134 naira per liter, 5 kobo. in 8 cities based on 10 trading days, weighted averages from September 23 to October 4th. But with the expected exit of NNPC as the exclusive off-taker from Dangote, the NMDPRA data proves insight into possible pump prices. So based on the forex rate that is used in your city, that is what would determine the price of petrol where you are living.
You can see why I brought in the forex crisis.
Where you are living, because it's
I have to bring in the forex issues.
And in Lagos, say for example, now the NAFEM rate used to calculate pump price is 1,604 naira. So if we're going to be using that, so help us God.
You know what, Sandra? If the dollar, the naira was still around 750, that Buhari left it. You know that what it means is that I'll probably be buying now, even if we remove everything called stock, and we're able to, we were able to keep dollars at around that 750. Probably we'll be buying PMS now like around 500, 550 naira per liter.
Which was what we all expected if they were going to take off the subsidy.
Yeah, but suddenly was taking off.
Flotation of naira, exactly.
And then suddenly dollar is at about 1,700 naira. And that's why we're saying that, look, sometimes you have to continue to ask yourself the question, where is this government taking us to? To what end do we have these two policies that have brought on ownership for Nigerians? Where exactly, what is the end game? Are we going to continue at 1,700 to $1? Oh, they say, we've been defending the naira. Okay, fine, you don't want to defend the naira again. But are we going to continue our lives living with the fact that dollar will continue to go up? You don't understand what I'm saying, Sandra.
It's all right. For what is basically saying now, like this will go the day. Anyways,
that's the question now.
For as it is now, there are projections that I'm seeing here, and what we have basically is that Nigerians should brace for this reality. Although let's hope that with the sale of crude in naira is going to have some positive effects of some sort, by the time it commences or by the time it takes off. But but this is the reality on ground now.
That policy too was supposed to start when, Sandra?
Last week, Tuesday.
On the 4th. What's today's day?
Today is 9th.
We are still fasting without that presidential directive.
Well, like there's a lot of presidential directives that we've not done anything about, so I'm not too surprised. But that's the report. That's the major headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Marketers begin to direct Dangote. Okay, yes, direct purchase from Dangote refinery, basically, as NNPCL has pulled out as the sole off-taker, of Dangote petrol. So the story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. I can get further details there, and also projections as regards what it will cost in different cities by the time by the time NNPCL fully hands off purchase of fuel from Dangote refinery. But I also have one question though. Does it mean NNPCL will still continue with importation if they are not the sole off taker from Dangote? Will they continue with their own importation of fuel?
Of course, they told you that you can't meet up at domestic needs.
Okay,
and that even if it thinks it has the capacity to meet a domestic needs. Maybe Farouk told you that for energy security, we should not allow that to happen. We have to continue to import, to balance it according to them, with their own wisdom.
Well, there's this report that we have here as well that, is just, a continuation of this particular conversation. Time check right now is 8 o'clock and you're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. This is Trends in the Papers. We're looking at the major trending stories here. South Korean investors are planning 4 Nigerian refineries, says the federal government. So there's a report that a consortium of investors from South Korea has concluded plans to build 4 100,000 barrel capacity refineries in various locations in Nigeria. And that's coming from the federal government.
We have to wait to see that happen.
But I want to ask a question, Fuad. Yeah. I'm sorry if this, but I just, we are not
pushed to headlines and excitement.
Why is the federal government working so hard, so tirelessly on other people's refineries, and they have abandoned theirs, or it looks like, or it seems as if? they have abandoned theirs. Yes, because
suddenly now you see people saying, "Oh, these people are coming." Look. In recent time we've been getting all manner of announcements from the federal government. Oh, somebody has pledged $2 billion to invest in Nigeria. Another country has pledged it. The country is a period of pledging now. So some South Koreans, right, have now come to, they want to build 4 refineries, blah, blah. I'm sure these investors from South Korea would want to have a conversation with Dangote. Right?
Well, even at least a feasibility study to, okay, how has this guy been faring since doing his own business?
There's no way you do a feasibility study or wanting to come and build refinery in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Without talking to Dangote. There's no way you will not talk to Dangote. To say, Oga, you already here. You already did it as a local guy. You understand your people.
What?
How is it going with you?
For patriotism.
What do you think Dangote will tell them?
For patriotism, he may just say, "Oh, it's been wonderful.
Everything is fine. It's
been
going on well.
It's so lovely. It's so lovely." Just
but you can see this ear. Without telling them, you can see this by head. This is my ear. 5 years ago, it was all black. But you can see me now. It's not as if I'm that old, though. But I can tell you all is going on well. You can come and build your refinery again.
Well, Mr. Heineken, Minister Heineken Lokpobiri has said, and I quote, "We encourage investors to build limited refineries by providing an open environment. A recent approval was granted to invite to Nigeria." Oh, it's an invitation for what? It's not concluded. They're just inviting them to come. Okay, so there's no agreement.
The one that has built, what are you doing with it?
That's now I don't know. I feel like I feel broken hearted. This is such a deceptive headline. All right, but what we have is a recent approval was granted to invite. Okay, they've not even invited them. They've only gotten approval to invite them.
Sandra.
To come and open refineries in 4 different locations.
When they come, we'll see them. We will welcome them.
Yeah.
It's a good one if they are able to.
Well, the oil minister said this will yield results because the federal government is open to equity investment in modular refineries and other upcoming refineries as a step to ensure energy security. So let's have more refineries, basically, and let's keep pushing the Port Harcourt refinery. Hopefully, sometime in, I don't know, that would run. Page 14 has further details of the South Korean conversation. You can check Punch newspaper for that one. We also have here on the front page of the Punch newspaper, FDI crashes to record low of $29.8 million, and that is on page 22 of the Punch newspaper. So very quickly, let's see what we have here. Foreign direct investments into Nigeria in the second quarter of 2024 dropped, marking the lowest level ever recorded based on available data that's up until 2023. So an analysis of data from the latest capital importation report by the NBS, that's National Bureau of Statistics, shows that the FDI dropped by 65.33% compared to what was recorded in the same period last year. So in the second quarter of 2023, we recorded $86 million as regard, in FDI, but then it has dropped now to $29.83 million. All right, and economists have blamed the significant drop on FDI on naira devaluation and an unstable foreign exchange market, because the naira has lost about 40% of its value in the first 6 months of 2024. All right, and this also includes the Nigeria's FDI includes equity, other capital. There's a lot that comprises of this particular one. But despite the claim by the President Bola Tinubu's administration that he has successfully drawn $30 billion in FDI commitments, this decline highlights the challenges Nigeria is facing in attracting long-term investment amid a challenging global economic environment and domestic issues. You mentioned it earlier on, for the fact that we've been hearing, we promised this, we're going to get this is going to happen, this is going to happen. It has not happened, but then FDI just keeps dropping, and it's still even dropping further.
The story captures it all. Why we are having that sharp drop in foreign direct investment. again, the government has been so happy, to talk about commitment, global commitment from different parts of the world, in the foreign direct investment in Nigeria, foreign direct investment in Nigeria. But it's one thing to want to commit to doing something. It's another thing to get it done. And, a lot of times too, at the global level, when it comes to foreign diplomacy, you have people who want to be diplomatically right. They get you excited. When they sit on the table with you, they're not going to want to ruffle you. They're not going to want to get you, pained about your reality. They're probably going to say, okay, we're going to look into this sector. We have this amount of money that we can bring into the agri sector. Okay, we're looking at the mining sector. We could also bring in about $20 billion. But look, at the point when that statement is being issued, it's always very easy for our own government to make it a big headline. Oh, we've gotten this commitment. But these guys, beyond their commitment, Sandra, would also do a feasibility study. They're going to do all their checks and balances, and they can easily just withdraw their commitment because it's just mere verbal commitment. If you understand what I'm saying. So if you pitch what this story is saying to the announcements we'll be getting from government, you understand that, look, the government seems to just be getting us excited or necessary. In reality, nothing is coming. Nothing has been coming. Nothing may come or will come until we fix our issues.
Thank you very much, Said Fahad. Let's move on now. That story is on page 22 of the Punch newspaper. Until we fix our issues. I mean, even a Nigerian doing business in Nigeria has his own stories to tell. Not, to talk of, a foreigner. But then above the masthead of the Punch newspaper, we have here, stop crude for loan deals. Dangote tells the government. I think this is not the first time that, Dangote will be crying out as regards this particular, situation that we have found ourselves in this country. But the president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has said that Nigeria needs to stop mortgaging crude oil to ensure availability of feedstock for local refineries. I think this is just, common sense here. Forward.
Of course, he's talking about his own reality too. We've talked about the reason why we can't even give our local refineries enough crude, because we've used some of them we are using some of them to pay for loans. The crude for loan deal. We have so many of them, about $8.8 billion that we're having to repay using crude. I think one of the announcements we have is that about 250,000 barrels of crude oil is reserved daily to pay these loans. If you look at what we do daily, Sandra, I think our daily production is still around 1.3, 1.4. That's the best we've still been able to do. By the time you remove that 250,000 barrels per day, Sandra, you remove the 40% for the IOC. What is left? It's a kilo. So Dangote is requesting for about, you're already talking about reserving about 500,000 barrels of crude oil per day for the local refinery. So add 500 to 250. And the 40% of the IOCs from about 1.4 you are producing in a day. There's still nothing to sell to make forex for the country. So, but we've borrowed these monies, and I think we are still looking at borrowing more, using crude to pay. But again, you ask yourself, Sarah, just imagine that as a nation, we don't have, maybe we have some common sense about how to live our lives. People will be more prudent with our public spending. Because it's like crude has become a problem, really.
Right.
We are quick to go borrow money because we think we have food to use to repay, which in itself is just mortgaging our future.
Yeah, because that's what Dangote is saying, that, it's unfortunate that when you have countries like Norway who are putting oil proceeds into a future fund through their national wealth funds, Nigeria and some other African countries are spending oil proceeds from the future. I mean, oil money that we're supposed to make from oil. We've not got.
You have not even explored the crude.
We've not explored the crude. Crude of 2030, we have spent the money already. Basically. So he said, and I quote, that to ensure sufficient feedstock availability, we need to stop mortgaging crude. It is unfortunate that while countries like Norway are putting oil proceeds into a future fund through their national wealth funds in Africa, we are spending oil proceeds from the future today, and that's is a major concern for
and on the loans we get on the future sale of crude. What do we have to show, Sandra? What's available? Where are the roads we built? Where are the hospitals we built?
What?
Where are the schools we built? Yes.
Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway is back in the news. They've built some kilometers.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
That's good. That's wonderful.
I'm sure that will make Joshua happy.
Very, very. I don't know. But I wish him all the best. So apparently, I think it's 1 kilometer per pavement or so per day. That's what they're working with now.
It's fine. We'll see how it goes. If eventually they can complete the road.
All right. Well, that's just for that. But this particular story is on page 14. Stop crude for loan deals. And I think we need to all join our voice on this particular one. Let's not sell our future off.
That's your common sense, really.
Let us be as if for in 10 years now, we need money and we can't. Sorry, you have spent the 2030 money in 2024. So let everybody just.
That's what we've been doing now.
Basically.
Crude for loan.
Yeah. All right. Also on the front page of the Punch, very quickly, we have OT faction loses as court declares Abure Labour Party chairman. Now that's on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. So the Julius Abure has expressed his willingness to reconcile with aggrieved members and party stakeholders, and he has appealed to the presidential candidate in 2023 of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, to help mediate and unify the party. So there's the Federal High Court in Abuja that declared the contentious National Convention, which reaffirmed his leadership. So the Federal High Court in Abuja has reaffirmed Abure as the leader of the Labour
I'm sure the other party members will appeal. But on Abure's case, Sandra, you help me with this one. They say enter offend with own daring. Enter offend with own daring.
Okay.
You understand?
He that is not wanted that is singing.
No, you just water the whole thing down with your.
I told you to stop.
Interpretation.
I told you to stop doing this. If you keep doing it, that's what I'll keep giving you. But I'm with you, please.
They don't want you in town. The one that now stands in the village square, calling people to a dance. Who's going to come? You understand? The people in the most influential people in the party are telling you it's time to quit. The only governor you have, Oti is telling you, Oga, it's time for you to leave. We need to reorganize this party, get a new leadership. Mr. Peter Obi that was with you when you were fighting Papa, has also told you, Abure, time to quit. Let's get other people in. Let's reconcile. Proper reconciliation. Why can't you be that? Again, the question is, where is the sacrifice? It's always about personal interest. I don't know really, because at the end of the day, he's now saying he wants to reconcile. Whereas you've gotten a court judgment now, which others will still continue to appeal and continue to further tear the party apart. So where is the reconciliation going to come from? The first step to reconciliation is for you to be able to sacrifice your personal interest, which our politicians are not always willing to do. But again, that's the story of the Labour Party. We'll see how it goes with them.
That's for the Labour Party. And in Rivers State, of course, the conversation continues. We have here violence. Fubara orders probe. Wike alleges disobedience to court orders. That's on page 2. The Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara has inaugurated a 7-man judicial commission of inquiry to investigate the arson, killings, and destruction of property at various local government council headquarters in the state. And this inauguration happened yesterday in the government house in Port Harcourt. And their commission, which is they have 1 month, is to conclude. Okay. As regards the burning of local government council secretariats that happened on Monday, and courts, there's just a lot, that they're going to be looking into. All right. And it stated that Governor Fubara stated that it was long overdue to inaugurate the commission of inquiry following incidents since his administration came on board. That's the report that we have here. And then Wike alleges disobedience to court orders. So the conversation.
Sandra, Wike was on TV yesterday. He said, "Oh man, I'm not going to waste my time."
A lot.
Because again, half of what he said yesterday contradicts his earlier position about governance, about godfatherism, about his interest for the state, about the future of the PDP. He's a man that is saying something completely different from what he had always said, especially when it comes to integrity, or integrity as he likes to call it. But on the issue of him saying Fubara disobeyed the court, is Wike, the judge, to now want to enforce the judgment of the court? This is his job to enforce the judgment of the court. The people that went to court and got that judgment that Fubara has disobeyed, or the Rivers State government or the Rivers State Electoral Commission has disobeyed, Don't they know what to do? Can they approach the court again to say, sir, Oga, your judgment has been disobeyed? So it has to be Wike that will now want to enforce a disobeyed court judgment. How? Where? He denied everything yesterday, which we know are just pure lies. He doesn't know about anything. He doesn't have a hand in anything. If father has ever begged him, he's not even doing anything. If everything yesterday they told him about how he's causing trouble in the state, he said he doesn't even know about it. His hands are clean. So I'm not going to be here wasting time on a man, that will go on national TV and basically just lie to Nigeria. We all know where the problem is coming from. He himself has even said it. A man that even threatened other governors of his party, and look, don't even try to intervene in the Rivers State matter. If you do that, I have the potential, I have the capacity, I have the support from wherever I think he's going to get it from to put fire in your state. And then suddenly in his own state, there's fire. And then the man is saying he doesn't even know anything about it. We are adults here now, Sandra. Don't let us continue to deceive ourselves. But again, I've said it, I just hope that we are not playing kalo with our democracy. I hope we are not joking with our democracy. There's a reason why we should learn from history. How the First, Second, and Third Republic failed for us to now start this experiment that's taking us over 25 years. So if after 25 years of sustained democracy, this is what we are going to continue to tolerate, then we'll see how it goes.
Thank you very much, Said. Appreciate it. 17 minutes past 8, and you're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. This is Trends in the Papers. We're looking through the major stories on the front pages of our papers. We're just done with the Punch newspaper, and we're moving on now to the Guardian newspaper. Don't forget, we're live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, so you can drop your comments in the live chat section even as the show progresses. There's quite a lot, just as Fuad had mentioned. Wike said a lot on the televised program. Yes, it was on Channels Television yesterday on Politics Today, and he said quite a lot. You can get all of the details in the Punch newspaper, from how they did not obey court order to how now
want to be the one to enforce the court order.
He said quite a lot, especially
and he said, lawyers don't do their job well, they will now blame the judges. And I said, look, nobody is blaming the judges. Even the judges are blaming themselves. We've had situations where even the CJN, with the Judicial Commission, has also said that, look, a lot of the judgments we are getting are very ridiculous.
All right. So we have
the
here
orders that are flying right, left, and
center.
It's the reason why people are questioning, yes, so again, maybe big politics will have enough time to talk about some of this.
All right. Well, still moving on now to the Guardian newspaper, just to re-emphasize or to reiterate what we are already discussing. That's as regards the Wike conversation. There's a headline here on the front page of the Guardian that reads: Wike gives condition to end political crisis in Rivers State. We have here on page 3 of the Guardian where it says here, if Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara respects court orders, he will prevent anarchy and further breakdown of law and order. And that's according to Nyesom Wike. That's what he's saying, because he blames the governor for a lot of things. And he said that the governor knows those who are behind the mayhem that happened. And so
why are you setting up an inquiry, panel of inquiry? That's what he's saying.
Wike denied having any personal issue with the governor.
That's what you say. That's what I'm saying. That.
No, I'm just reading the report. Wike denied having any personal issue with the governor. He denied demanding anything from him, but he traced the crisis. He said the crisis started from the impeachment of the House of Assembly Speaker. That's where everything started from.
The same House of Assembly Speaker he is talking about that was planning to also impeach the governor, ridicule the governor, that were vetoing the governor. And so he wanted the governor to sit down like Mumu and allow himself to be impeached and not fight back. You see, he was also talking about the agreement in Abuja, the intervention of the president, the one-sided intervention of the president. You remember that intervention Wike is talking about? That's why he not. I looked at the man yesterday, and I'm like, oh, really? These are the kind of leaders we produce in Nigeria. No wonder nothing is working. Nothing will work if we continue to tolerate behaviors like that, individuals like that, characters like that. Nothing is going to work. That's why we keep complaining. I will continue to complain. So far, that's how we want to continue to run the country. Tolerate people who are not dedicated to nation building in any way, but other than their own personal interests, and will be so bold to come on live TV to even lie about basic obvious things that we already know. But again, it's all well. If it's the way we want to run the country, it's fine. We'll all continue to suffer it.
It's all right.
We are in together, Sandra. No matter what, we are all in it together. Even if you run out of the country, you still have family members who are here. So one way or the other, if it touches you.
The story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. I can get further details there. Well, the major headline on the front page of the Guardian reads, "Anxiety as federal government commits state funds to special development commissions." So the conversation now has started. This Southwest Development Commission, Northwest, North Central, plenty development commissions. Well, in the first half of 2024, 7.09 trillion naira was made available to the federating entities, and stateside GR is about 40% of FAC allocation. So as it is now, we have the Niger Delta Development Commission, we have the Southeast Development Commission, we now have North Central Development Commission, we have Southwest Development Commission, we have Northwest Development Commission, and we have the Southeast. Is this the Southeast? Northeast.
Yes, Southeast Development Commission.
Northeast. I've said Southeast. So Northeast. So all 6 okay, not all 6 now, but what we have now is there are 6 development commissions, basically, that we have that are working now. So more fiscal strain awaits state governments as NWDC and others takes off. The NEDC gets 84 billion from FAC in 6 months. SEDC, that Southeast Development Commission, must seek alternative sources of funding to fulfill mandate. 50% of ecological funds go to commissions. Oil companies, mining companies are to pay more now. So amid falling or stagnating revenues, rising funding needs, and the ballooning cost of debt servicing, state governments may not only lose their fiscal lifeline to emergency development vehicles, but Nigeria may have to create more channels to make more money as it is now, because now with the creation of, development commission, so month after month,
you have to fund them.
We have to fund them. Billions of naira will be transferred to the commissions, which may stretch their administrative and overhead expenditure far beyond the contemplation of their establishing statutes, as seen in the cases of the existing ones, for ergo, the Niger Delta Development Commission.
Just imagine. Look, Sandra, if the governors were performing, doing their job, why do we need development commissions at the regional level? Because half of what these development commissions will be coming to attend to are supposed to be done at the state level. You know what necessitated the Niger Delta Development Commission was the fact that, look, despite 30% and all of the money that was going to the governors, there was still no meaningful development in the Niger Delta. So the argument came, again, to bring development in Niger Delta, let's create a development commission. The Northeast also came up with their argument because of Boko Haram and all of that. Let's also do something to speed up development at that level. Now, everybody has now gotten a development commission, or at least it's easier for the people. But the question is, if we want to look at what has happened with the Niger Delta Development Commission, what gives us any hope that anything will change, no matter the resources you put into this commission? Sandra, I was having a conversation, I think about a week ago, with one of my lecturers, Professor Tunde Akoni, who was actually celebrating the idea of the Southwest Development Commission. And in one of his articles in the paper, he said that, look, is believing that the Southwest Development Commission was going to become a model for other commissions. And I asked him why he thinks the Southwest Development Commission will be different from others that have failed in the past. And he told me that, well, one of the factors is that in the Southwest, we have a very vibrant media that's going to keep them on their toes. And he also talked about the fact that, look, the Odua Investment Company is the only surviving regional investment company from the First and Second Republic. And because of that, he thinks that in the Southwest, if we're able to put the right people in power, these development commissions would help with development in the Southwest. But at the end of the day, Sandra, look at the problem of appointments in this development commission. So far, we are still putting politicians in this commission. Sandra, political patronage, party members, you know this person, you don't know this person. I think even in Niger Development Commission, most of the people that are appointed here now are said to be loyalists of Yᴏᴜᴛ. So whether you qualify or you don't qualify, whether you are a technocrat, whether you are a business person with sense of development and policy strategy. So far you're a politician, you know somebody, you are appointed on the board of that commission. Nothing will change.
Well,
so
there's
it's
a
not
concern
problem that we have all of these seats. But who are the guys that will be running the commission? That's the question.
Thank you. One question. There's also another concern with the fact that all these newly created ones may now draw inspiration or, whatever it is.
From the old ones.
From the old ones.
What inspiration, Sandra?
As
off
regards controversy.
Off your mic. Remember off your mic.
Unaccountable hefty budgets. Say, for example, the Niger Delta Development Commission. The off your mic conversation. So it's a serious conversation for our dear, because
we'll cast and bind any attempt for the Southwest Development Commission.
We're looking at trillions and billions of funds here. We're looking at trillions and billions of funds here. Like the NDDC, the regional commission may have to draw 15% of their total monthly allocation of the regional member states of the commission with a bite of the political funds.
Even if they draw 40%, because even the so-called states, what are they doing with the resources? They are not even doing anything good with the resources. So, but the question is, just imagine we have, people with, business-oriented people that can really come, with serious commitment to wanting to do the job, develop their regions. I would advise that we even divide the so-called resources to 50% and give to the commission. Take it away from the governor.
All right.
But the question is anything going to change if we are still going to put politicians in charge of this commission? Nothing will change.
Okay, very quickly now, that story, by the way, is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Serious conversation there. We also have here, Abuja court judgment on VIO inapplicable in Lagos. So very, very quickly, I'll just put this out there, that the Lagos State government has declared that the Federal High Court judgment that was barring Directorate of Vehicle Inspection from stopping vehicles or impounding them or confiscating them or imposing fines on motorists was not applicable in Lagos State. So in a statement signed by the Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Mr. Oluwaseun Oshiyemi, said since there was the Transport Sector Reform Law of Lagos State, which dictates in Part 2, Section 11 to 22 of the law, the establishment, duties and power of VIO in the state, with penalties or fines that could be imposed for traffic violations, la-di-da, was restricted. So this judgment is restricted to Abuja, so it doesn't apply in Lagos State.
You see, that the legal aspect of that thing, I'll probably want to discuss it
by Mr. Bakari.
But the operational model, Sandra, when everybody took VIO away from the road, were they still doing their jobs or not? Why must they be on the road? You don't understand what I'm saying? Somebody took them off the road, and there was peace and sanity on the road. You understand? Because again, people had complained about their high-handedness, the trouble they were causing on the roads, and blah, blah, blah. And they said, look, you can still be in your offices and do your job. It's vehicle inspection, right, Sandra? Must the inspection happen on the road? And that there were other ways you could have deployed technology, to catch people who don't do the right thing and all of that. And I think at that time, Lagosians had a breath of fresh air. But since they come back to the roads now, because there's a reason why people are complaining about these guys on the road. And Sandra, go to other nations of the world where you even see everybody being on the road as a law enforcement agent. There's nowhere. Even the police does not just stay anywhere on the road in developed nations. But in Nigeria, VIO is on the road. Have you seen NDLE on the road now, Sandra? EFCC is on the road. Customs on the road. Immigration, everybody is on the road. Doing what? Road safety is on the road. LASMA on the road. VIO on the road. At the end of the day, you all know why they are all on the road.
All right, Fuad. Thank you. I don't know why they are on the road, Fuad, but it's okay. The story is on page 4. No. Thank you. It's okay. The story is on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. By the way, thank you very much, Said Fuad. Unfortunately, we can't take any more stories, but I'll just read out the headlines here. We have airline operators are up to patronize Dangote refinery for jet fuel, and that's on page 6. You can get further details there. Congratulations to them. them. We also have here service disruption imminent as Kogi defies presidential order and seals base stations. That's on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. And that's all for Guardian. For Vanguard, the major headline reads, arson, oil input in rivers threatened if, and that's coming from Fubara, and there's a lot of conversation there.
Behave themselves, so the food is our lifeline. It's the only thing we are. It's not affect food production.
That's from
why they should behave themselves.
We have sold our future for this crude, please. Let them not come and carry us.
They should be careful.
Yeah, owing us crude. Okay, let's carry forward side, and then that's all. All right. The story is on page 5. This story is on page 5. See what Chinese people carried our jets, abi our private plane, abi our presidential jet. Look at, just take a look at that. Ogun State that caused that. It's all right. The story is on page 5 of Vanguard newspaper, and that's all we can take for this morning as regards trending stories on the front pages of our papers. Please stay with us. We'll take a short break. When we come back, it'll be time for you to share your own thoughts and your submission as regards the major stories this morning. This is Mainland 98.3 FM. Please stay tuned.